you will see the voice quality improving like exponentially in the next 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months from here. But it is not about the quality, right? It is about the entire integration of the workflow that you can do and integrate the context about the vehicle, about the customer to create this intelligent response and the conversation that can lead to the appointment setting.
Today, I'm joined by Sanjay Varnwal, co-founder and CEO at Spyne.ai for the second episode of the pre-NADA AI Spotlight series. Dealership tech is moving fast, and AI is shifting from experiments to real operating leverage across sales, merchandising, and customer engagement. Sanjay breaks down where AI is actually improving speed and conversions, how dealers should think about workflow end-to-end, and why partnerships and data security matter. If you're trying to separate real AI leverage from hype, this conversation delivers. A big thank you to our sponsors for making this episode possible. Merchant Advocate, Lot Links, and of course, Spyne.ai. And now let's get into the show. Sanjay Varnwal on the CDG podcast. Sanjay, welcome.
Thank you, Yossi, for having me here. Thank you. Excited to be speaking with you. Yeah.
Likewise. I was just starting to tell you the story before we press record, but like 4 or 5 years ago, I was at this Goldman Sachs conference, very interesting event, lots of investors and, tech entrepreneurs. And I was, observing, just, meeting some people. And there was this guy on stage that was like captivating the room. It was like a crazy keynote speech. And so I asked someone, I said, who is this guy? And they told me he's the fastest growing hospitality brand in the world. His name is Ritesh, and the company is called Oyo. And to come to find out that when I'm doing some research on you prior to the podcast, I see you worked at Oyo, and I'm like, okay, this guy's got some, experience under his belt. You've done quite a few things on the technology side. So, this will be fun, man. Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the kind of company he has built in India for the globe. Right. And at the age that he is in, how old is he? 32 years.
He's young. He's younger than, How old is he? 32?
I think he would be right now 31, 32. When he started the company, it was like he was 19.
Incredible. 18
or 19. So
incredible.
This was like one of the fastest growing companies that came from India. Yeah.
And truly incredible. Yeah. Global hospitality company. People at the time, they knew I was on Automotive. They were comparing it to like, the Carvana of hospitality, like just as an analogy. It's obviously very different, but super, super interesting. So welcome to the pod, man. We have, so this is part of our pre-NADA AI Spotlight series. If you look at the last year, we've seen adoption rise amongst dealers using AI tools. There's still lots of questions. There's a lot of tools that have let down dealers and just have not delivered. Certain dealers have felt like, certain vendors are leveraging them as their testing grounds. Others have done very well as well. One of the coolest things I did prior to this podcast is I actually went in circles and I wrote Spyne and instantly got a download of the pulse of what people think about Spyne. And not because you're on a podcast right now, but genuinely, and anyone can do this who's in circles, the sentiment has been very positive. And so I want to ask you about that. Because this is like, I'll tell you exactly how it is. I even went into circles right now and I wrote in our technology group, I said, hey, what questions do you have for Sanjay, if any? Everything is fair game because I'll be on. So, and people did have some questions. But I want to start out just at a very high level. Like, how have you broken through the noise in this crowded space where dealers are looking for ways to become more efficient, adopt better tools, right? Tell us a little bit about your story and entering this space, coming from your hospitality background, or I would say tech background within hospitality into automotive.
Yeah. Actually, I come from a deep technology and product background. So worked almost 12 to 15 years across very fast growing startups, Oyo, sometime in Amazon and many other startups in India, which have global presence. So build things at a very, very high scale. So one of the core problems that we started working was that, this entire internet is booming and the merchants who are looking to sell their products online, be it car dealers or real estate agents or merchants like e-commerce merchants or restaurants, anyone. And one of the key bottlenecks that all of these companies had was like high quality merchandising. Like, so, I mean, if you are a Domino's, you'll be able to hire a agency or a photographer to do your photo shoots. But if you are a small outlet, you likely would not be able to spend that kind of a money, right? So the idea was, can we build a camera app which mimics the style of the photographer and shoot the object just like the photographer, like the angle, styling, everything will be done. If you're shooting a car, it will shoot like a professional photographer will shoot the car. Similarly, real estate, similarly, various other categories. And then edit those images automatically using AI and publish it all across the marketplaces and online channels. So that's how we started this company. And we got into like a early success. Many big companies, because it was one of the first kind of ideas that we launched in the industry about 5 years back. So it picked up very well in India, but gradually we discovered that, okay, every category has extremely deep problems. Like the way you handle a photo shoot of a model will be different than a way you will handle a real estate shoot, with the way you will handle a automotive shoot, right? So we thought that, okay, we'll go very deep into one category and solve it deeply. That's where we picked up automotive as a core category, because we had all these unicorns in India as our merchandising clients, right? So we have Cars24, Spyne, some of these like Carvana's equivalent of India. Not Spyne, but yeah, many other companies were using us or piloting with us, right? So, and that gave us confidence, right?
So let me ask you this, guys. So you started on the merchandising side, which is definitely something that dealers need, but it's, I wouldn't call it today, in about to be 26, like the cutting edge, tool that dealers are looking into. And by the way, when I say that, like, not everything needs to be cutting edge to add value. I don't want to imply that.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your evolution. Like, what are you trying to solve today? What's the core problem you're working on to help dealers solve today?
So the way we started looking at this particular problem is, we got into dealers' life cycle and started understanding how the dealer's business function, right? So the dealer's business, essentially, if you see, it starts from sourcing the right car at the right price, and then getting the car at the lot, then shooting it right, getting it published on all those online channels, then generating leads, serving those leads. I'm calling the customer for the appointments at the store, and then selling it eventually before servicing it, right? So this entire funnel is what makes very interesting to study, because the dealer's business revolves around how fast they can move their cars, right? That's the fundamental metric that the dealers would look at, turnover time, right? So merchandising was one of the stages where we got in to generate more engagement for the dealers. But we started looking at, okay, dealers are generating a lot of engagement on their VDPs and on marketplaces using our content, but what next? What can we do next, right? So we saw the web pages, and the web pages had those old school, form widgets where the customers will fill up their forms, and next day or next to next day, someone would reach out to them, and the customers would be filling those forms to 10 different places as well for the same car, right? So the idea was, can we convert that particular engagement real time into a conversation that can convert into a real appointment for the dealers? And that's where we launched.
Now, is that service or sales appointment? What are we talking about?
We started with sales appointment. So we launched this 24/7 active voice, chat, and email bots that sits at the VDP of the dealers. And when you're engaging it, it basically pops out. Mm-hmm. Hey, I see you are interacting with it. Who do you want to talk and know more details about this car?
Now, before we dig deeper here, can you give us context? How many rooftops are you working with? What dealer groups? Like, whatever you can share. I actually encourage name dropping, because I think it's important, right? We are social animals, social creatures. We want to know who's already using this. So what can you tell us about your current penetration within the US?
Yeah, we work close to like 1,500 plus rooftops in the US right now on merchandising as a product, where Asbury as a whole group is using us, about like 150 plus rooftops. Greenway, Bergstrom, a lot of like big groups are using us right now. And Paragon, from New York is using us for quite a lot of time. And, Winnie, which is the conversational bot ecosystem, which is chat, email, and voice, all three combined in one. We launched about like 4-5 months back, and we are looking at like a big traction there, because we are not only launching voice as a solution, but we are connecting this entire communication as a common ecosystem for the dealer, right? So and then context is carried forward everywhere. Yeah.
Sanjay, a question from within circles that I'm reading right now, and I think is a good one. But a dealer is asking, what do you think tech-first dealerships actually want from AI for their stores? He's saying, like, I mean, I consider myself a tech-first dealership. Yeah. What do you, as the CEO of an auto tech, AI platform, what do you think I want? What do you think is the problem that I'm looking to solve?
I think for most of the dealers, lead is not a problem. You don't have the lead problem. You have this engagement problem, right? So tons of leads sitting in your business right now, and a lot of these leads are looking for those cars that you are not engaging because the business is so vast and so disorganized. I mean, we also run our business right now, and we see that what kind of funnels we run, right? So to engage, there's a sequence of messages that you need to drive, sequence of calls that you need to do. Every sequence of messages need to talk about something which provides like additional value, right? So it's very hard to drive all these things at a scale and get to that last point of business outcome that is sitting at your CRM right now, or service scheduler systems right now, right? So what we are doing right now is all these leads that you are generating, for which you are paying dollars to all these platforms, are coming to you anyways. Are you utilizing it to the fullest, right? So the agents which are very smart, which have this built-in mechanism for boring follow-ups, right, and which can get you to some outcomes, is what we are optimizing for, right? So that's the precise problem that we are solving, that sales in the form of inbound and outbound at the times when you are not up, or at the times when the lead you think are dead, right? These all are the opportunities that can give you like additional car sales or additional service opportunities. So repair orders. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Merchant Advocate. You negotiate to give buyers the best deals. Now it's time to let someone negotiate to ensure you pay the lowest credit card processing fees. Merchant Advocate is not a processor and can help your dealership save, all without switching. They only get paid if you do, with no upfront costs or heavy lifting. Sign up for a free consultation at merchantadvocate.com/CDG or click the link in the show notes below.
So you're making me more efficient. Part of that is, I would say, speed to lead based on what I'm understanding. And another part of that is just nurturing older leads better, or leads that I may have not have gotten to. Yeah. And would you say, is that 80% plus of the value proposition that dealers today are taking advantage of your platform?
Yeah. I mean, first problem that we solve for is the moment you have acquired the car, you don't right away go live because you don't have the right kind of visuals available for that car, right? So we get at that particular stage and get you live like immediately. We provide you almost nearly realistic photos for that particular VIN that can help you go live. They are not stock images. They are near realistic photos that matches that model trim, like the entire variant of that particular car, which can go live. And then once the car is inspected and refurbed, you can do the actual shoot. So the speed to go live is one of the metrics that we control right now. And then once we get the car live, then speed to response, right? So once the car is live, if the customer is engaging with you on the VDP or on text messages or on the calls, can you immediately respond with the context, with the details about the car?
But yeah, Sanjay, sorry to cut you, but like everyone says that, right? Yeah. And I'm not discrediting you, but I'm calling out the elephant in the room. Everyone says that. And even now, I'm looking at a conversation here right on my screen where it's, one person says, when will voice AI be intelligent enough to actually satisfy my customers? And another person right after them says, it's already there. And so what is it? Like, why is one dealer saying it's not, another dealer saying it is? Like voice AI being able to work directly with my customer and to complete a task. Like, why is there a disconnect there?
Yeah, I mean, there are all types of companies in the market right now, right? So, at different levels of evolution, and all of them are targeting dealers, which are maybe so many of dealers, right? So, you need to understand how much of focus a company is doing on a specific problem, right? So, and then also if you see this entire voice AI's evolution has been so rapid in the past 6 to 8 months that just about a year back, if you had have heard the voice AI, it would have sounded robotic. Right. So you don't, I was also amazed to see that how fast this entire technology has progressed in the last like 6 to 9 months time. Right. So
Correct.
you will see the voice quality improving like exponentially in the next 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months from here. But it is not about the quality, right? It is about the entire integration of the workflow that you can do and integrate the context about the vehicle, about the customer to create this intelligent response and the conversation that can lead to the appointment setting. And so that's what we are specializing and very much focused on, because we are a very high-end 80-90 members engineering and research and technology team.
So my next question to that is, let's say you are right now one of the market leaders in voice AIs, right? Let's put that stake in the ground for a second.
Sure.
As a dealer, I think two questions run through my mind. Number one, why? Right? Like, why is your technology superior and actually delivering, whereas some others are not, some others are, but let's just say you are for a second. So number one, why? My follow up to this is going to be like, how defensible is that? If I, as a dealer, on board with you today to solve this problem, right? With handling inbound calls, handling outbound, is your position in the market going to change within 2 months based on the development of AI? Let's start with the first one though, right?
Yeah.
How are you building superior voice AI technology today? And that is totally based on private conversation and feedback I've gotten. If it was any different, I would tell you right now. I would say, this is what I'm seeing, but that's legitimately what I'm seeing. And I'm sure others who are in circles are seeing this as well. So how are you doing that?
No, it is not about the technology, right? So there are two different types of companies which are getting formed globally. One which are building base models, which are OpenAI or all these companies which are building base models on which most of the vertical SaaS companies are getting built, right? Mm-hmm. Which are building applications, but that too also has a extremely good workflow stitching. Right. So understanding of, because the conversations in dealerships, if you see, this could have like thousands of chains and every chain of messages have to be handled very precisely, because you are risking right now, a conversation that could have converted into a real sale. Right. So dealers are very sensitive about
opportunity cost. Big opportunity cost.
So dealers are extremely sensitive about AI's ability to handle a call which could have been handled better by a human, right? So
it's super scary, yeah.
Exactly,
Although in many cases, I could argue that the alternative is not even picking up the phone or not even reaching out to the customer.
Absolutely. So, those are misleads or holidays or of offline hours or something, right? So, but what I'm trying to say is that building systems which understand the workflows, it is not the technology, it is the people. Right. So high quality people who are building those solutions by understanding the dealer's workflows in depth and also are extremely capable, technically like superior, understands how to make the technology work for certain ecosystems is what is doing the trick. So we are roughly about 80 to 90 engineers. I myself have done about like 12-15 years in engineering and product in some of the top notch companies globally. Our CTO comes from like 8 years in Prime Video, computer vision, then 4 years in Instacart, handling all these extremely scaled conversation stacks, right? So some of these are like advantages that we are bringing into the table right now. And
okay. Yeah. So that's helpful. And by the way, I like that answer. You're saying it's not the tech. It's just that we get your problem better than others. Amazing. Okay. So my next question is, how are you able to intimately understand the dealer's workflow, arguably better than some other players in the market? How are you able to do that? What are you doing? Do you have stake in it? Some dealers that are showing you showing you the sneak peek of everything? Like, what's your secret sauce when it comes to figuring out the optimal workflow for dealers?
We work with some of the extremely close partners right now, both in terms of technology companies, which are working deeply in the dealership space, as well as some very premium big dealers with whom we are closely working and making this technology just work exceptionally for their dealerships right now. Right. So we are not hurrying. We are not just deploying it to every single other dealer in the space right now. But just ensuring, are you able to, in fact, we want to build technology that you want to claim if you are able to create ROI for you, then only we will charge you. Like, so we will charge a percentage of the ROI that we will bring for you. Right. So not charge you, let's say, fixed subscription that most of the companies, DVAs that you call it, are charging right now. Right. So that's the model we want to build going forward. That
so
we'll
you
be able
want to create a monetization model where you take up like a legitimate percentage of the ROI.
additional, yeah.
I think every dealer would agree that's fair. As long as you can properly prove that,
Attribute it.
and exactly, and quantify the ROI you're driving, I don't see why anyone would have any issue giving you some, fair percentage of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, okay. So then again, the next question, as I mentioned, is like, okay, so if I'm a dealer who's convinced or has already heard about you and wants to use Spyne or at least try Spyne, how confident are you that you're able to maintain a certain level of technical superiority, workflow superiority, whatever you want to call it, for the foreseeable future at the pace that things are evolving, right? If I spend time to onboard into a certain platform, there's clearly some, non-zero chance that within a certain amount of time, that is maybe not the superior platform.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is a real reason why I know dealers who have been on the sidelines, and I don't blame them. They're saying, well, I want to wait a little bit more time till I can, really figure out, what is the, who's the clear winner in the market before I go through all the onboarding. So
Sure.
how do you respond to that? What would you do if you were a dealer?
I think there's no perfect time, right? So there can never be a perfect time when you will tell okay, this technology is now ready to be used. And there has to be a company which is evolving with time. So we have shown that evolution in the past, like 2-3 years working in this dealership industry, where we got very deep into merchandising and built one of the solutions that were seen as a clear superior offering in the industry, right? So from there we picked up this voice stack and conversational stack about like maybe a few quarters back, and have been building on top of it and constantly improving it. So, and the answer lied in the previous question itself, that we are primarily a research and development company. We are not a sales and marketing company. We are a company which is driven by product and engineering, with about like 70% of the people in the company belonging in product and engineering department right now. One of the things that I would rather want to bring up is this entire ecosystem, right? So where you are connecting with the dealers, and on behalf of the dealers, you are connecting with the customers. So you're also looking at some very sensitive data of the customers right now, right? So from the behalf of the dealers. So are you secure enough? Like, so most of the companies that are here are in the ecosystem have to be extremely sensitive to that part of the ecosystem as well. So we build compliance and security as a system within a product as well. It is not a checklist for us. It is very closely linked with, we are GDPR, we are SOC 2 compliant, we are ISO compliant, we are disaster recovery is like well set across the globe. So there is no way that your data can be compromised or can be lost when you are using Spyne. All these are built because we are hardcore engineering driven company. Right. So we know what will work at extremely high scale. We're not building for the current, we are building for like 3 years down the line future.
This episode is brought to you by LotLinks. ChatGPT can write emails, plan trips, even tell jokes, but it can't tell you which VINs are at risk of sitting too long, how your dealership performs against your competition, or how to improve your VDPs. That's where LotGPT comes in. It's the only chatbot built exclusively for car dealers. It knows your market, dealership, and inventory. Fueled by LotLinks' decades of VIN and shopper data, plus your live inventory, Google Analytics, and CRM, it delivers relevant answers and guidance to help you sell cars faster and more profitably. LotGPT is free for dealers, but invite only. Join the waitlist now at lotlinks.com/LotGPT or click the link in the show notes below.
I understand. Well, look, you come from a big company background too, so I can only imagine that you've worked on this historically. This isn't new to you in the sense of compliance. It's you've worked on that, so that makes sense. Sanjay, if there was one takeaway that you would like to leave off dealers after listening to this conversation, what would it be? What do you think is the core takeaway regarding Spyne, what you're building, the future of the dealership, what is that takeaway?
We are obsessed with optimizing this entire funnel of car purchase to car sales journey, right? So building agents that will optimize your sourcing, pricing, merchandising, syndication, connecting, and then basically appointment generation, eventually converting to the sales, right? So we'll be building agents that will plug in like all these moving systems for you in partnership with the companies or building ourselves as well. So that's how we will be looked at in the future. And you see, like we have started building some very deeper partnerships with the ecosystem companies. So such as like WinQ, we have recently launched a common solution where this entire trade cycle intelligence, we have launched a bot which is called Benjamin within the ecosystem, and which is a sourcing platform, like sourcing agent for them, acquisition agent for them. So we are working in some of the deeper use cases which touches every part of the vehicle journey of a dealer, right? So that's where you will see us transitioning as well in the future. Right. So building agent.
Yeah. You spoke about that on our platform. We had a panel with you, VinQ, Team Velocity.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah. Like, so how did that come to be? You're, integrating deeply with, these really dominant companies in the industry. Like, how did that come to be?
I mean, so of course, like most of these companies which are operating, of course, understand the value of technology, right? And they work with, or I've seen like most other companies working in this ecosystem, right? So they know which technology or the technology teams are capable to handle their use cases of the scale. So when we connected, we gelled in very well, right? We understood the use cases. We got like some of the successes, done in no time, right? Maybe in 2-3 months, we were able to spawn the use case that's all their use cases, this entire, product that they were building. Right. So, and we hit together really well. And that got us like, launch this entire trade cycle intelligence product with WinQ. Of course, so this is just the start. We are joining hands to launch many other products in future together as well. So you'll be seeing a lot of, solutions coming together from our umbrella.
Good.
In future as well. Yeah.
Good. And we'll talk about them through CDG. So we'll highlight that. So Sanjay, before we wrap up, what's next for Spyne? Are we just going to continue improving the current workflows and tech of already existing product? Are you looking at newer product or, solving new challenges for dealerships? Like what's next for you?
As I said, right. So we want to optimize this entire funnel of sourcing to selling. And then after selling, the servicing as well. So you'll be seeing us launching newer agents which will specialize in one of these workflows like gradually. So from merchandising, which is leading to higher engagement, we're converting those engagement into real leads, and those leads followed up well to convert into appointments, right? And appointment show rate increasing is what we are doing right now, which is further getting toward like a service appointment scheduling as well. So we are looking at this entire funnel, which we are optimizing through high end AI, which is available across voice, chat, text, emails, and across like multiple channels as well. So this is what we are looking to continue building in future as well.
And Sanjay, are you seeing more dealers eliminating roles within a dealership using Spyne, or are you seeing more dealers supplementing with Spyne and then capturing more sales, a combination of the two? Like, objectively speaking, what are you seeing? I'm not trying to lead you down the we're not here to eliminate, job roles, because I just think that's, the reality is like, I've literally talked to dealers who are not hiring roles because of AI. So let's just like put that, like, we know that's happening, but what are you seeing more? What are you seeing more of? That's my question.
I mean, future hiring, of course, is not the way the dealers used to hire earlier. Of course, this is going to go down, and they will be like holding back on their top performers who will negotiate on deals, build these human connections, right? So build trust with the real deals. The way the AI will come into the picture is, all these speed, execution, consistency. Some of these are the problems that AI is best at solving, right? So which is where they will keep on optimizing the technology, for making their workflows better and better and more efficient, right? So, and wherever human touch is needed, you need like people. There's no shying away from that. Right. So,
Yep. Understood.
right. The robots cannot sell a car to me or you. Like you need people to do the conversation, to build a rapport and then eventually convert that deal.
Sanjay, what have I not asked you that I should have asked you?
I think why the dealers are using us, and despite having like 20 different solutions in the market.
So yeah, why are they leaning into you versus, other players? Yeah, that's a good question.
Because they test your technology and find it like superior, working well on the ground, right? So
Got it.
they do the pilot.
They're impressed by the
Absolutely.
performance.
Absolutely. No, not the numbers. Basically, when we pilot also, we prove that pilot is successful to a lot of dealers that they initially use as a first set of dealers, right? So we prove it that it is working, and then we establish like the next steps, rather than going with all these hype and hoopla that is happening all across the industry right now.
Amazing. Well, Sanjay, I appreciate you coming on. Again, like I said, this is part of our pre-NADA AI Spotlight series, which is the whole point of it is that there's been all this, just new addition of products and capabilities, and dealers are, what is good for me? They're asking. And so that's the whole point of the series. To also call out what's not working and highlight what is working. And so I appreciate you coming on, and also engaging with our CDG Circles members who had specific questions. So that was fun too. And with that said, Sanjay Varnwal, Spyne AI. Sanjay, you're doing some great things. Keep up the great work. I'm excited to follow your journey.
Thank you, Ozzy, for having me here. And we would love to have dealers visit our booth at NADA as well.
Please. Sure. And we'll put that in the show notes as well, of course. So, down below, we'll put your website, we'll put booth details, Spyne AI, and I'm sure they'll be able to see you in the booth as well. So if they want to meet you, you'll be there.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Please give the podcast a rating, consider subscribing to the show, and check the show notes for links to what we talked about. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.